Hey, Summoners, welcome back. We are covering the GPL today. Week 2 has come and gone over in its native land, but we're here taking a look at the replays. A few choice games. But first up, we're going to be looking over the Bangkok Titans and the Saigon Jokers.
Yeah, first off, right off the bat, I'm excited for these matches. This past weekend was awesome for anyone who watched the Season 3 NA qualifiers. I'm hoping all of you. Those games were really impressive. But now we can see, what's going on in that foreign scene as well. And AJ, you're looking really good. I'm impressed.
I did a little bit of clothes shopping over to break. It's like, it's time to bust it out. It is. I think we need to bring a little bit more style.
Cream get the money, dollar bill, y'all.
Oh, of course.
That's awesome.
Oh, of course. True story. True story. You know what, like the professor jackets I always wear?
Okay.
I love going like Goodwill and stuff like that. One of those jackets, like the blue one, the blue tweed one, $20 bill in the pocket.
Oh, cool.
It paid for itself.
Didn't you say? All right, so that's an upgrade. You profited off of that jacket, probably.
I did.
Guys, we'll have the match here. Bangkok Titans, Saigon Jokers. Going to be a cool one. Some interesting teams here. A lot of the standard stuff we've seen, but I am looking forward to Nick's Water on Nidalee.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be very entertaining. We also got some MF in here also. And Jarvan, we see him a lot over Negrana stuff too. But let's go over to full picks and bans in order. Titans banning out Elise, Leeson, and Evelyn. The Jokers banning out Blitzcrank, Kha'Zix, and TF. And Titans picked in order Shen, Ezreal, Zyra, Orianna, and Jarvan. Jokers picking up in order Cho'Gath, Nidalee, Sona, Jace, and MF.
Yeah, so some really cool picks here. I really like the Jokers team. What BKT is doing is very similar to what we've seen from a lot of teams, in particular Singapore Sentinels. They're going to walk right into them, though. This is really dangerous.
No, safety out in front. Victim of the taunt. First blood. Very quickly going over to the Titans.
You never want Sona to be the head when you're moving in as a team, because Sona, she has the lowest base health in the game by far. She has 410 base health, so it's really not a lot. They only had 3 members there originally for BKT, and usually that's not enough damage to burst someone down, but Sona's just so squishy it didn't matter. Yeah. And that's dangerous. But so BKT, the team that they're running, like I was saying, it's a very similar style to what we've seen from SGS some in the past. It's that, a heavy shield protection team, but it allows Jarvan to be extremely aggressive. And Jarvan's, just a monster right now. He's seen some buffs. The changes to items and stuff like that in particular have been what's brought him around. But he can be very aggressive through the mid game. He does fall off, though. He has great burst and is tanky, but he doesn't have a lot of sustained damage.
I actually had to change the overlay, too, because this is something we're also starting to see. He's also mid lane, it seems.
Yep. So it is mid lane Jarvan. Oh, okay. Yeah, we've seen that some. It's a really aggressive lane. I thought that Nick's Water was going to be going mid, but and be going like that AP Nidalee, but it seems it's going to be like a standard AD Nidalee. So that's a little bit surprising, because Jace mid is going to be very strong. Like, that's going to be a very strong lane. He can, versus Orianna, win that situation.
Safety caught out again, this time by another Zyra instead of a taunt. That's risky. Twice Sona's been caught out already.
Well, once they get a couple levels, level 2 in particular on Ezreal, they can maybe burst him down. But we'll see what can go on. I thought they were going to go with a poke team. With Nidalee does have AP, though. Actually, if you just looked at it.
Yeah, Nidalee does have AP.
So Nidalee is going AP Nidalee, but top lane, which is something I haven't seen in a long time. That's very unusual. And that used to be popular, but Nidalee's laning phase was just nerfed so many times that basically when you go AP or AD and tanky, then you can lane against anyone. But AP doesn't tend to have the same laning strength. Most laners can bully her around. Yeah,
but keep in mind, though, it's not uncommon, though, for AP Nids in the top lane to maybe go a Doran's Blade or two. Trap in top lane, finding out NDD, so his gank from the lane will not be working out this time.
Yeah, so he's going to back off, but it's going to be interesting to see what the Jokers are doing with this comp. Junie, they did see Jarvan up top, so he's going to head down bot. There's no route for him to get in here, but maybe if Sona baits it out, they can make a play happen. Oh, they just gave him vision.
Oh, that's unfortunate, but it's not going to deter him. Zeri's out on the backside. That is unfortunate. You have to be very careful when you're playing Sona in lane if you have someone nearby. If they are lowest, the cords, they will reach.
I'm surprised. It didn't look like the Titans noticed, actually, because after that happened, they ran forward. So I'm a little bit surprised by that. But Junie coming around the mid lane. They could get a gank here. They didn't see him, so Orianna's in a bad spot, but he actually backed up. So just good awareness, recognizing Cho had just left mid. There's really no reason for him to be aggressive right now.
Yeah, nice. Rounding out that corner, hugging the wall on the outside of the ramp, just in case someone was over by the Wraiths, and indeed, Jarvan was there, but the attempt on mid was not to be, and Titans, they really have no fear down here in this bottom lane. They're continuing this push. They've recognized how quickly they can burst down Sona. Safety's been caught out before. It could happen again. And at the very least, try and minimize some of the poke by pushing them over to the tower.
Well, and slowly, MF and Sona would usually win that lane with the heals and harass that they have, and MF just has so much damage. But it's actually interesting, if you notice, Ezreal, his items, they're very similar to what you'd run top lane. He went with the bottle, and he went with just a lot of potions. And that basically means he can sit down bot and farm as long as he wants. Oh,
mid
gank coming mid.
NVM caught out by the Cho. Some free hits while taking a few tower hits also, but Junie, he's a Cho. He's pretty tanky. He can take it. He's a big guy, but QTV also has some nice range too for a little bit extra poke on Orianna. And but still though, plenty of health potions on Ori.
But it's interesting to be running that as an AD. So going back to those health potions, he can basically passively farm. That's also what helps Nidalee up in the top lane run that AP Nidalee. Just the new items, the fact that you can turn it into such a passive lane and just go with a shit ton of potions.
NVM still taking a lot of hits in the mid though. The shield can only prevent so much of that insane Jace damage so early on. And remember, one of the critical items on Jace builds so early on is a brutalizer.
Yep.
And he's almost there. He's about 300 gold away. So once he grabs it, mid's going to be hurting immensely more.
Yeah, he's going to have that on his first back. You know, Orianna still has a lot of burst damage, but Jace can play at such a far range that it's not usually a concern. So we'll kind of see what happens there. The quick burst of Jarvan and the Orianna is going to be scary, though.
Zeri's taking a quick pot shot by Archie and dueling just for a small bit with skills, but the brush is still warded. MF can continue that pursuit down bot if so desired. Nixwater getting some free damage on Aaliyah. See, that is the danger too, and why sometimes you'll get a little bit of AD on Nidalee even if you're going full AP. So we'll see. We still have yet to see what Nixwater's going to get on that first back.
Well, yeah, that is standard to have just a little bit, but I think a lot of it's the regen. And Shen, you know, going with the double health.
Double beads.
Yeah, the double beads. I'm curious if he's going Tiamats from that, because that's the build progression for that. Archie very low. One more attack could maybe do it. Oh, not going for the kill.
Uses the cleanse just in case you know there's something else coming out there from Zyra.
That was really close. Ezreal almost could have gone for that, but then Misfortune would have been able to flash as well. So forcing the cleanse and keeps himself in lane. So Ezreal's able to keep up farm. You know, it's going to be very safe there. But it's interesting. I'm curious if that's going to be a Tiamat Shen. Warmogs is really important to get down really early, but having the Tiamats allows him to push the lane. We've seen it once before, but it allows you to just clear those waves a little bit more easily. Usually you want to get a little bit of health first, particularly against Nidalee, who has that burst in her Cougar form, but doesn't really have much after that.
Taunt missing. Nixwater flashes away just in time. We've talked about this a lot of times too. As a game start hitting the late game, one of the best things to do against the poke team is to grab Baron because of the regen. It does so much for you. And I think to a small degree, it's the same theory at work here. It's like, well, I accept the fact that Nidalee's going to be poking me all day while I'm trying to farm. So the best way to counteract it, don't even fight, just stack on the regen.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But the interesting thing is going to be later on is that regen, they have a really high burst team as well. So it's not like, you know, it's not just slow wear down poke. It's we want to kill you right now by just comboing our abilities on you with long range poke. And having the Sona and MF combo as well is going to be dangerous.
Archie taking a lot of damage too from those Zyra plants. And the poke, the huge damage from that poke is strong too. We saw it in EU Killing Spree. What happens when a Nidalee spear and a Jace shot through a gate hit you at the same time? And if you're low enough, if you're squishy enough like an AD, you die immediately.
Well, and they have 3 members on their team that are going to be that low. Safety almost going down.
Taken way low. Does make it back to tower.
Teleport coming in behind them, though. They're caught out.
Teleport behind on to the minion. Skills in trouble. And it's not going to be enough to get him out of there. Leah did use the ultimate. Also, MF with the bullet time. Zeri's forcing out the flash in response from QTV. Double kill for the Jace. That's a very happy Jace right now.
Yeah, really good turnaround there by the Jokers, and BKT not responding as quickly as you would expect. Not seeing the teleport, they could have maybe backed off for a second. They wanted to get that kill and just couldn't quite pick it up. Shen coming in as well to try and help them out, but still a double kill going down. They're in a really good, the Jokers are in a really good spot right now. But BKT, as long as they need to pull back this game a little bit, they're not really down any gold because of it. It's still very even.
Right.
Jace is in a really great spot. He's getting the kills, but Orianna should be able to just turn that into a farm lane. Jace's damage isn't going to be a concern for her because she has enough range to keep out of it. And then as long as they can just farm for a little bit, around like the 15-minute mark, that's when BKT's team is going to be very strong. They can try and force fights and just try and explode a couple of members of Jokers and pick up some quick kills. And
that also leaves a timing attack window for the Titans also, because remember that Shen ultimate level 1 is about 3 minutes, but teleport at all levels is 5. So there's a really quick 2-minute window. If the Titans are gutsy enough, they can actually make a difference in one of the lanes.
Yeah, they could definitely do something there. We'll see if they try pushing anything. I think it's going to just turn back into a passive laning phase for a moment. Neither team really wants to force anything right now, but we'll see. Bot in particular, I mean, it's really, they're comfortable with the 2v2. Jarvan doesn't need to come in to pick up a kill. Cho, isn't going to be able to get in range of Zyra, so it's really just going to be them laning against each other, and all the lanes tend to be pretty safe right now.
NDD off on the side in mid. QTV.
There's the combo.
There is the combo. Pop up. Caught in the Cataclysm. Shockwave from Ori keeps him still.
Well, it was actually interesting. Jace jumped onto Ori, almost picked that up. There's the Sona.
Ultimate by Sona keeps him still for a second. One more shot from MF. Seals the deal. Skills shifts over backwards to grab the Sona, but here is an AD fight. But here comes Junie flashing out from the jungle, and this is Skills time. He knows he needs to get out of there. Junie, is the ultimate up? Yes, it is, but
oh no!
Does steal the kill from MF, but still kill secured. You have to guarantee that.
Yeah, but it was already guaranteed, so that legitimately is just a conscientious decision that that he was going to take that kill from MF.
Yeah.
But which is fine. Getting Cho those early kills is definitely huge. MF already had a kill.
Actually, already had 3 assists also.
Right. So she's in a good spot. She's going to get a level advantage because of being able to push all those lanes there. Going back, I love the Orianna play, holding on to the ultimate for when Jace actually jumped. So when Jace jumped in with the Q, Orianna pulled him off of her, which is pretty cool. So that was a nice little interaction.
Yeah.
And nice play from BKT. We'll see what's going on between these guys.
So in the meantime, though, the gold is actually still ridiculously even. Less than 500 gold separates these two teams. And you're hitting around that 12-minute mark where usually if you see a team with a ridiculous lead, they're more likely favored to win. But I like this. This is so far relatively even, and considering the past performance of the Titans, this is quite refreshing.
Yeah, it is a really nice played game by both of these teams. It's going to be a concern if this game goes really late. The Jokers have such an insanely strong team comp. Like Sona and MF alone just do so much damage. MF with full items, you can do like 2,000 damage in MF's ultimate late game. So it's really just absurd amounts of damage. The key for BKT is to be able to force a fight onto MF. And MF is very short range, so she's going to be vulnerable to the Orianna Jace or Jarvan combo. That's going to be a big concern for the Jokers. So if the Titans can engage on MF, that's an easy recipe for a win there. Otherwise, it could be scary for them how much damage the Jokers have.
Junie with a pink ward had an inkling that their own blue was warded, and they
Still
were
chasing
correct.
After Jace, Jarvan trying to get on him. He actually acceleration gate and was able to back off there.
Yeah, there's been a lot of focus on the mid from NDD, and I like it because it's something unusual, something you don't see a whole lot of. And like when you have someone like an AD in the mid that can change the game so often, especially when you have to teleport up, you want to try and deny them as much as possible. And Titans so far have actually been doing a pretty good job with it.
Yeah, they've made sure that they haven't allowed that much aggression from the Jokers. Junie looking for those opportunities. One of the cool things about Cho'Gath that I really like as a jungler is he's already so innately tanky once you get a couple of feast stacks that you don't have to go for Warmogs. And right now, Warmogs is just an insanely broken item. Oh, there's the fight.
Ultimate crescendo followed up by the bullet time, but the teleport from Jace is back on up immediately, melting out the Zyra, but Ezreal does take the MF in return. NDD wanders on down, but here comes Cho also. Every man for man being matched down here in bot lane. Nixwater taking a turret top lane in the meantime, but NDD with the initiate Cataclysm, but Sona forcing to flash out away. Jarvan is in trouble. Junie with the Rupture pop up. Where's the feast? Also flashes away from it still, but Junie tanking the tower. Pop up not reaching, doesn't go to full length, and Skills is desperate for that Sona kill, going way too far deep. Shift out and away. QTV catches up. One more auto attack.
Once he goes to range, he has him.
He's just waiting for the change. Back to the cannon. Acceleration gate. One more auto attack. Kill on the Ezreal, but Leia is also still behind Junie with the feast. With the consume.
Oh, this could turn into a
keeps him
triple.
around, keeps him in turret range. Shen goes down. Cho dies to the turret. One more auto attack from QTV, gets a kill on the Jarvan, but there's Orianna with the ultimate to make sure Jace does not leave.
Yeah, very unusual fight.
Wow.
All of the Titans hanging out for way too long.
Yeah.
Kept trying to turn it around at the end there, and it allowed Jace to get the 3 kills there. So he is very strong. Orianna was able to pick up a kill as well, but that's really scary. 15 minutes into the game for Jace to have Bloodthirster and the Brutalizer. So he is just going to be doing an absurd amount of damage, and that range poke is going to just really be effective.
But look at this, though. He's 6-2. But in comparison of gold to the Orianna, it's a 100 gold difference.
Yeah, Orianna's very strong as well. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens between those two guys. But you also have to consider Shen leaving allows Nidalee farm.
Oh, yeah.
And
turrets.
Yeah, we talked about how Nidalee could kind of struggle without going that quick tanky build. She went with a kind of a hybrid build, so going with a chain vest first allows her to be a little safer against Shen. But getting that farm on Nidalee, particularly when you're going with an AP build, is really important.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people also underestimate. Now, Chain Vest has actually gotten very strong because it has one very critical upgrade path now available in Season 3, and that's the Gauntlet, which can be huge for Nidalee.
And I actually think that, I mean, it's clear with the Sheen there that's where she's going, which is unusual because that's like an AD you know, item. So it is like a hybrid Nidalee. We're not exactly sure where she's going with it yet. You expect going with that Iceborne Gauntlet that you want to be going a really tanky build, but that doesn't really work with going a lot of ability power. So we'll kind of see how she continues to itemize.
That was a dragon pickup also, and only keeping the gold difference at 1,000 gold jokers with that slight lead. Lots of pressure still on the bot lane from the Titans.
Nope, just Warden.
Just Warden up there top, returning down to the mid. Junie will be spotted out by the Warden, a side brush, so Orianna knows to keep safe. And while the Titans know that Cho is there, oh, NDD getting poked, actually also spotted by that ward. So everyone knows what mid's up to at the moment.
The game is very safe right now as far as jungle presence. Junglers tend to want to clear a little bit more and farm up for the mid game because the Oracle's nerf really, and just the new ward items as well. So there's just wards everywhere, every single game, and there's no way to clear it. Normally you would expect like a Cho to get an Oracles. That's just not happening anymore. So we'll kind of see how that continues.
Yeah, usually we've been seeing the supports now being exclusively the only ones to pick up those oracles, and right now the bot lane is still content with the laning phase. They still haven't exactly left.
Oh,
ooh, nice juke.
That would have been close. It didn't hit him,
juke.
But that would have taken him to like one hit away. Maybe a flash feast from Cho or a flash attack from Jace would have finished it. Yeah,
QTV is just grabbing at short strings, hoping that Orianna stayed behind, throwing off a few free shots. But NDD's here. He's a good pin cushion too, and Junie and QTV looking for some extra damage onto that mid-tier 1, and in just a few shots, the thing's already down to half.
Well, the sieging potential from the Jokers right now, in particular Jace with that Cho, is just very strong. Cho allows him to be aggressive and have that escapability. Cho can easily peel for Jace with the Rupture, but then, I don't know, they're able to just wear them down with the poke. It looked like Cho was actually trying to bait out the Jarvan EQ combo and then see if he could bait it out, then they turn around and get a quick kill after his escapability's gone. But that's going to be really dangerous right now, is how strong this Jace is currently.
He's pretty strong. If you look at the money, it's a pretty hefty sum, but Orianna has actually been very good keeping tabs on. And there's so much power that the Bloodthirster is 2 kills away from being fully charged. The Brutalizer is there also. You don't even need to buy tier 2 boots right now at the current state of the game either, so you can just continue to build more damage. You might even see like a Last Whisper come on next just because he has the money.
Particularly on Jace, you don't need to buy the boots. That's pretty common to get boots pretty late.
Right.
So it's not going to be that much of a concern on him. Nidalee did go with the Spell Pen. So Spell Pen and that Iceborne Gauntlet is very strong in the mid. The Rupture not going to land. NVM just going to turn it around on Junie a little bit here.
Ward expires into side brush, so the Titans need to refresh that one. Potential duel between the ADs, but Archie forcing back skills. Rupture using only the farm. Jokers recognize they've been pushed bot this entire time. They want to get aggressive in mid. That turret still looking hungry. NVM another huge shot to the back. And Junie finding NDD, camping out the brush. Rupture keeps Jarvan popped up. Here comes Orianna, but nice zoning from QTV, keeping NVM away, but Shen ult in. Zyra ult looking for the pop-up. QTV gets popped up. Post-flash, Cataclysm finishes the job, but Orianna does go down also.
Yeah, they back off, but Nidalee up in the top lane is going to be pushing on the inhibitor turret. So that whole fight, it was, successful for the Jokers, but they're actually going to re-engage. There's the Jarvan trying to get the engage of them. Safety going to back off for a second, but they're all very low, but they're still pulling them away from Nidalee.
Zeri's kiting the way from the support. Junie now in a struggle to get away. 300 health left, but Safety can't get sandwiched. No, the Q from Sona grabs a kill on the Zyra. Passive still up. Taunt keeping Safety behind. The flash, unfortunately, was not up.
Yeah, and it's interesting what that play is, because look at how low that inhibitor turret is. And you know that the Jokers, they didn't think they were going to be able to win that exchange. Yeah. So they lose the fight, but they know that Nidalee is going to be taking some advantage as a result of it. Jace actually teleports over to the blue, so Nidalee and Jace are trying to steal that real quick, but they're in a dangerous spot here. Fortunately, Jarvan doesn't have a lot of mana.
Oh, he smite steal. Keep in mind, though, it was a great smite steal, but when you're put in a position, you have to smite steal your own buffs. It's not the greatest.
Yeah, right now the Jokers are doing a really good job of pressuring around the map, but still losing that fight, it brings the gold close to even. It puts the Titans in a really good spot to turn this game around, and they didn't get the turret. It's close to going down. Like, for all intents and purposes, it's down, because the next time that Nidalee's pushing up there, she's going to be able to grab that. But as long as the Titans force fights where Nidalee has to be a part of that fight and forces objectives where Nidalee has to defend, then they're going to be in a pretty good spot right now.
Yeah, think of it this way: with these 2 towers gone, that essentially widens the effective travel range of Jokers as a whole, meaning that they can do invades like they can easier on the blue than they normally would if those towers were up.
Could be a small engage here. The turret goes down. Archie fighting a little bit, but Zyra's here, and then Cho and Sona coming off the backside. So they're actually going to try and engage here. We have the top-down view. Gives us a better angle. Now that's the cinematic, but we'll see.
Right-click. Stop it. Now we learned something. There you go.
So we'll see where they go. They do just back off for a second, so everyone's going to be cool for the moment.
I bind my right click to the camera, drag and pull. I forget. Well, replay it does that sometimes. I forget you get the neat top down view, but it does.
Jarvan's looking for a fight, though. Zyra missing the snare, but they could maybe force this.
NDD out in front. Safety once again caught away in a place of less safety. Crescendo forced to come out, followed up by the bullet time. Nice comboing, and there is Zyra going down to his hail of bullets. Safety still brought very low. NDD slowed. More bullets raining from the sky to keep him slowed, but a nice standard speared
Nixwater
right square onto Sona's head. But Nixwater, again, time delayed, opens up a lot of opportunity and grabs the tier 3 and top. That is a naked inhib now.
Yeah, just a really strong job up there. Really unusual build path to go with that Haunting Guise after the Iceborne. I definitely understand Iceborne, but that's like an 80 Nidalee, so having the mix of that spell pen is pretty cool. I guess it allows Nixwater to be more aggressive in that Cougar form, know that he's doing some quick burst damage, but it's definitely an unusual build. I haven't seen it before, and it's worked out perfectly. He's able to win that lane against Shen, even though Shen has that Sunfire and is going for that like pushing build. So we'll kind of see how that continues to work. But as long as the Jokers are forcing fights down in the bot lane in particular, that's opening up Nixwater up in that top. And he's going to be chasing down Shen here. I'm interested to see if they actually want a duel or if he's just trying to clear the minions.
He's just trying to clear the minions, but he does have the Tiamat now, though. So Tiamat and the Sunfire Cape, which will make pushing lanes immensely easier, but the time is kind of past already, though. The top has already been pushed to inhib. So with knowing that, Nixwater actually starting to rejoin and push with the team here in mid, thrown off a spear as a simple warning shot. The mid tier 1 is actually still up for the Titans.
Yeah, but most of the pressure hasn't come on that mid-tier 1 from the Jokers. If they decided to siege, they would have decent poke, but the concern is that they're setting themselves up for a perfect ult combo from the Titans, for the Jokers. So they don't want to do that. Jace getting caught, though. That's exactly the concern. He does flash out of that wall, so he's going to be able to back off. But we'll kind of see what's going on with that. I am excited to see, though, the cool thing about going so much spell pen on this Nidalee, even with going the Iceborne Gauntlet, it kind of branches her into two paths. It means that her spears are still going to be very strong just because the base damage is so high on them, so getting that spell pen is huge. But it also means that her auto attacks are going to be pretty dangerous as well, and cooldown reduction, all sorts of cool stuff.
Rupture popping up the Titans, but the Shockwave keeping Junie back.
Misfortune's coming up. They could combo this.
Safety right
Crescendo
out in
into
front.
Misfortune ult.
Where is it? We're waiting for it. We're waiting for the combo.
I thought they would have done it for sure. It was very dangerous. I mean, it was a really close spot for the Titans there.
That was a great opportunity, but...
particularly since Orianna and Jarvan's ults were down, and Zyra's.
Right.
So and Shen, every ult is down for the Titans, and the Jokers had the perfect opportunity for their combo. I'm really surprised they didn't go for it.
As am I, but... The Jokers, they feel like they have something planned. The Titans, they reckon some of them are weak, some of them want to buy... And Nixwater sticking to the same plan that he's been doing all game, back up top lane, getting the push on.
Look at that Jace build, though, going for the double Bloodthirster. Ooh. That is really scary. Once he gets the last Whisper as well, that's going to be just an insane amount of poke damage. There's the combo. No, he doesn't go for it.
Flash, and there's a crescendo now, finally coming out, but only landing on Xerxes. One more shot from Archie takes him out. A little bit of miscommunication from the Jokers, but it's still a kill, it's still a turret.
I think Safety originally came in and he wanted to get the Sona ult perfectly, and then he was like, oh, I don't have the perfect angle. Oh, let me hold on to it for a second. But they still get the kill, and they're putting the Titans in a dangerous spot here.
Yeah, Taunt into the middle of the
still
Jokers.
Top, just pushing that inhibitor.
QTV over on the top, Shockwave back up. Same thing with the Cataclysm. Orianna going down the middle of the fight, and Leia gets smacked outside of the Jarvan ult.
Actually losing that inhibitor.
Shut down onto the Cho. Shen cannot leave either. Nidalee is being a boss here. The inhibit is not down in top just yet, but it will be soon as the mid-tier 2 falls. Nixwater, one more spear, grabs the inhib, skills doing the best to keep the Cougar away. Xerxes is now back. Can he get the bind over the wall? Skills losing a fight, forced to barrier. But meanwhile, now look at the mid. The mid tier 3 is gone.
Jace could get this with his combo. Oh, he has skills easily.
Oh, he realizes that Ezreal's too far away. Xerxes pops up the ultimate, still in a struggle. Slow. No, the shot, the Q misses Desire, but look, the mid inhib is now gone.
Yeah, they're really just bullying around the Titans right now. It was a very even game, but the push pressure and the fact that they just have so much burst damage to just pick off one target and, roll with that. And that's, they just have a really high burst damage team. It's not a slow war of attrition poke. It's just let's long range kill someone instantly. So it's worked out very well for them. The Titans right now, they need good ward coverage because they need to be able to force a fight on someone, and they need to know that they're going to have enough damage to insta-kill someone. And that's something that they're struggling with. I don't think they have that damage right now, as long as the Jokers don't allow themselves to get caught, because the Jarvan-Orianna combo hasn't exactly been pulling out big results for them.
Yeah, so we'll see what it does. Yeah, the Jarvan Ori combo, it's okay, it's effective. It worked once in great degree, but on paper, the Sona MF ult, we've seen how quickly it can melt people. It is a dangerous thing to deal with. And MF Archie, everyone's favorite item right now.
Well, I love that item on AD carries. It's my favorite defensive item on AD carries.
Archie's tankier than QTV right now.
Well, that's the thing is, right now, with the way the items were changed, the 80 items, there could be a pick-off here. Kind of in an unusual spot. Joe's going to try and force this fight, so they're trying to sandwich in Leah here. So we'll get back to that in a second. But Jarvan actually hits the Rupture. He's going to have to get out of there.
Jarvan being brought behind by Junie, has to standard over the wall, get back to the tier 3.
So cooldowns used just to escape. So that opens up an opportunity right now. The Jokers know they can be safe. Skills close to going down.
Skills with a shot and a spear goes down to a quarter life. Junie with the
Even
Rupture.
if he doesn't go down, he's completely zoned right now. They can't defend this at all. They give up the free inhibitor.
Yelling at Xerxes, make sure there will be no further binds coming through. Rupture once again, Crescendo following up on it to the Jarvan. Shen ult recognizing the Titans need to engage. This is their last stand. Cataclysm keeping the Jokers occupied. Zyra ult popping up. 4 members. The Titans doing their best to keep back this push. Now brought down to a 3v3 here inside their own base. QTV very low. The MF is now gone. Rupture, nice, quick pickoff onto the Zyra. NVM way too far out. Silence from Junie. In addition to the slow, can you get back to the fountain? No, you will not. Jokers with some excellent play inside the base of the Titans. Skills the only one here, and a simple spear brings them down to half. The minions, the waves are too much. Both of the Nexus turrets are going down. This is it. Game for the Jokers.
Well, the Titans just didn't have enough damage in that long, protracted fight. They were trying to wear them down, but the Jokers could just kite very effectively. They were fairly tanky, but they had much more significant bursts. So really impressive play from both teams, but the Jokers taking it home, just snowballing at the end there. So very close game the entire time, and then the Jokers just pulling out ahead when it mattered.
That split push, man. That split push did absolute wonders.
And it was cool because you look at different team styles. TPA, for instance, Stanley, very well known for that Nidalee. That's not how they would have run that game. They would have run, the Nidalee with that split push, but they would have just slowly pushed objectives, but played very safe. They would have been like, instead of a 20 to 14 game, they would have looked for only like 5 deaths the entire game, and just slowly wait for opportunities. The Jokers, they didn't wait for opportunities for Nidalee. They forced them. They went into that bot lane. They forced fights that weren't in their favor. They forced fights where they were at a disadvantage in some situations, just to open up that backdoor for Nidalee, or not backdoor, but that split push for Nidalee, and it worked out very effectively. It
worked out really well. One thing,
and that Sona MF combo is just absurd.
So good.
They're one of the strongest combos in the game right now, and the Warmogs is really cool because with the 80 items, they were all nerfed. It means in Season 2, you could go 2 defensive items. You could go like a Quicksilver Sash and then a GA on your 80 carries. Now, Assassins do so much damage, and you have to worry as that 80 carry. So you go the Warmogs, it just protects you from everything. You don't have to worry about any of those other defensive items. And Misfortune being short range, it allows her to stand there with confidence and just get through the full channel of her ultimate. I
gotta say, though, I would hope that there is a Warmogs like nerf coming, because something's ridiculous when your support buys it too. Safety bought a Warmogs also.
He was working on the second one, actually.
Ruby Sightstone, Warmogs, Giant Spell, and Kindle Gem. That's it.
It's an absurd amount of damage.
You ganked me level 1. That's never going to happen again.
It's really strong. I mean, the thing is, Ezreal as a champion in particular, he's the safest AD right now, but he really struggles at dealing damage to Warmog's tanky champions. And he also went with the Iceborne Gauntlet. And that item is really popular on Ezreal right now. It combos very well with his Mystic Shot, but it means he doesn't have anywhere near as much damage as if he had gone with a different build. So really, you look at his build, he had a lot of gold, but it was invested in that Gauntlet, so his only damage item was a Bloodthirster. And Bloodthirster Ezreal, not enough to take down Warmog's tanks.
No.
And so it's just a free build there.
Pretty much. So that is a game going over to the Jokers. We'll be back in just a little bit. 2 teams that we have yet to see for this season so far. We're going to take a look at them next. The Saigon Fantastic 5 and one of our favorites, the Singapore Sentinels, will be coming up next. Going to a quick commercial break, and we'll see you in just a little bit.